Well, when we left off in the last video, we had these 2 units here running. We're going to get batteries for this Freightliner, or else we'd be pulling that out of the shop here. Jared's got a fuel issue with this 8320 that he's dealing with. We did have that running here last night. But what we're going to work on now is we have exhaust manifold studs, a couple of them that are broke on this payloader. We're going to go ahead and get after that, and then yeah, the other thing that we've got going on is the guy's supposed to come to re-letter this truck. This was a Cat service truck, and it had a Cat decal on the hood that they naturally took off. So we're going to put another one back on there. Our DOT guy, the guy that does the lettering for us, he had one of them that he's gonna make, and then he's gonna take the red letters off and put black on there, and then put a couple other things on this truck as well. So that's what's going on in this video. So it looks like I'm gonna have to take the EGR cooler off of this. So I'm gonna have to drain the coolant and get after it here. So we'll go ahead and get this done. What do you think, Ralphie? Bad wire?
In my hand. So
that's haunted us before. Start it up again. Will it start now?
Should.
Oh, I had plugged fuel line. Fuel still ain't quite right, but we've had trouble with this oil pressure sending unit before. Rail pressure, okay, not oil pressure. All right. It was running.
I know, I heard it.
Shouldn't even run right now, right? Without that plugged in? Huh. Wow. What'd you find with the fuel line? Huh. What happens if it runs and I plug it in?
I don't know, it'll probably just run all weird.
Let's try it.
At the end of the day.
Try it. I think you should get a new fuel line here too, Jared, just after you get...
That's how they are, that was new.
That was kinked like that?
That is how that was.
Huh. Well, how easy would it be to take that wire off the 8220?
Very hard.
Oh. Alright, so we've got our EGR cooler removed. We're getting ready to pull the exhaust manifold and the turbo off all as one. We've got a couple more bolts to take out, and that will be ready to pull on off of there. So we've got the lettering done on the service truck here. We've got the cat decal on the hood. We changed out the red lettering on the door to the black lettering, and then we added deer to the service body. So we've got more room here for other other decals, I guess. So we'll get after things here and yeah, get this exhaust manifold off and get the new studs and gaskets in there. The stud is broke on the front side of the engine there, so we'll go ahead and yeah. All right, so it is always fun when we get involved in jobs like this because the priority jobs kind of jump in the way of what you're doing. Like if you recall, when we worked on the Freightliner, we're working on that. Jared's working on the 8320. Vac truck went down. Well, we don't need these two units. Vac truck is kind of something we need. So we kind of need this payloader. We've got a spare, but not really. We use the other one to deface and move feed. We use this one to load feed. And the other one is doing double duty while this one is down. Well, the 7200 that's on the 1400 mixer wagon just blew a heater hose. Needs an oil change anyways. So there's a heater hose down in theirs that is blown, and it's got a mess here. So we are just going to put another tractor on it. So we kind of have to balance. What do you need?
Tape.
Tape. Okay. We kind of need a tractor on that other mixer wagon. So we got to pull the other guys off on what they were doing, and they're going to get this 7290 set up to go on the 1400. The last mixer it was on was the 1200, so we had to move the drawbar in. Now we're having to move the drawbar out. And now I have a phone call, and we will join up with you guys in a moment. Alright, Jared has played around with some wires here, and he thinks he's getting to the bottom of the problem that he's had with this. Well, he put that with the shaft that came out.
Yeah, that's the shaft that you took.
Alright, put it in the top right hand drawer of the green toolbox. So, he's in a better spot than where he was at. So, yeah. A little bit more screwing around and y'all have it 100%, right, Bob? How are your pins? Your pins okay? Yeah. So he's just been a little frustrated. So he went after this wire harness and went down through, and he had some bad spots in it. Some oil had gotten into it, got into the wires. And some of these wires he couldn't tell what color they were, and he thought he had it color coded correctly. And he's thinking he had a couple of wires mixed matched just a little bit. So it is running a lot better. He's got a couple of more things to go through here, and then he'll have it. These guys have got the drawbar situated at the right length, got the right power shaft in there. The 1400 takes the large 1000, and then they've got this out there like 16 inches from the end of the tip there to the center of the hole. So we'll have to dig into that here tomorrow. We kind of need to get this back together so that, yeah, in case the other loader goes down. So we got to keep a wrenching. Well, we're just about ready to take this all off as one unit. The turbo is still hooked to the manifold. However, there's a bracket that bolts to the head that the turbo's bolted to. That kind of sticks out here a little bit, and the return oil line for the turbo, I've got to take that off because the bracket is on the back side of that. We need to get that guy out of the way. So we need just to take that line off, and then we'll be able to get this guy right out of there. Set it down on the bench, and then we've got some stuff leaking here, getting on the engine. So here is that part of the exhaust manifold on that first cylinder, that is the gasket rather, that has come out. Nathan's got a wrench here for me. Did I guess the right size, Nathan? I probably didn't. No, it's 1.5 inches, just like you said. Hold on, though, I might need that one too. Grab me 1.5 inches. I need this one to hold the bottom. And of course, it ain't gonna fit on the bottom. So we better hope that the fitting doesn't turn. Yeah, we got lucky. The fitting didn't turn. It's not 1.5 inches either, it's 1.7 inches. No, this did the trick. Now, if I can get this out of there, it should be floppy enough to come out. Yep, so far so good. Alright, Nathan, if I can lift this out of there, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
But I need to lift it out of here. Shouldn't be all that bad. You just don't want to drop it, you know. Boy, it doesn't want to come. Oh, don't tell me I gotta take that bracket off. Yep. It ain't gonna come out, and I gotta take the bracket off that holds the EGR cooler into place. Just trying to get out of this so easy too. Push that back on there. we've got a little more to de-knot here, so we've got to take this bracket off. A couple of Allen screws. Nathan is telling me that this is supposed to come off without pulling that bracket, so we're going to try. That's all I had to have was confidence, Nate. Oh boy, you were right. Nathan was right. Boy, I don't know, Nathan.
Heavy?
It is a heavy, awkward, just, I can't leave it on my shoulder. Ah.
You're stuck on this air conditioner line, I think.
Oh, I see. I just gotta get it up beyond that. Oh, Jesus. Now I'm caught. She's a heavy, awkward booger. Oh, we got it. Oh, we got it. Oh, boy. Oh. Need the proper sound effects. Ugh. Okay. So we'll show you what this looks like before we show you what that looks like. Oh boy. Damn it, Nathan, you're gonna be disappointed in me. That bolt didn't break off, it fell out. I could have snuck the gasket in. Jeez, I've done that before too. Damn it. So you can see the exhaust trail that we talked about when we did the exhaust manifold gaskets on the Freightliner. You could see that trail. Of course, it burned up on the thing there. But we could have just snuck another gasket in there and put a new bolt in, but that, I mean, unless it's broke off in a good inch, I don't know. Somewhere here I've got a stud, an old stud that came out of that guy. And I got a whole complete stud right here. Yeah, that. Yeah. I mean, we need to clean the threads up, but that's got to go right in there. I don't know what I did with that 15mm socket. You see that anywhere?
Want an extension on it?
I don't think I need an extension. I'm gonna do what you shouldn't do and just run this one in there. Yeah, it of course needed cleaned out, but I'll have to pull that stud out of there. But yeah, that hole just needs to be cleaned up with a tap, and we need to get all this crud off in there from the DEF injector guy up there is leaking or something. So we'll clean all this up, get our gaskets off, pull our studs out. We're gonna have to do some welding in here. We'll probably weld nuts on to pull them out. They have a hex end on them, but you have to put a too small of a socket on to get them out. We'll have to weld that nut to that one too, in order to get that out, to clean it up, and then put this guy back on there, and we'll be good to go. All right, so we've got all them studs out of there. We're just gonna run a tap in there, clean all that up, blow all that crap off, and then we'll take a sanding disc, clean up this manifold a little bit. This is where it was leaking. This guy here. Boy, the damn manifold's got a war spot. It's egged out right there. I don't know, that bolt must have been playing in there. But we'll get this cleaned up and get it back on there. So Jared's got this 8320. He figured out whatever wiring problem it had, and it's good to go now, huh? Yeah. So it's nice to have gotten to the bottom of this problem. You'll be able to sleep tonight, won't you? Wouldn't have bothered you?
Never not.
Yeah.
When's the last time there's been something like that?
Yeah, true. So I get these wires all back in their looms, and yeah, maybe we can get the hood on it here soon. This is for the horn, right?
Yeah.
Does it have a horn on that hood?
No.
Well, all right, so we'll get things cleaned up and start the reassembling process. So we gained another tractor. This is a 4250, the quad range. This is our, well, this tractor my father bought brand new in 1982. This one's got, I can't remember how many hours on it, but this was a feeding tractor. Cabs rotted out a little bit. Corner or a can for an alley scraper arm. This 4250 here was at the farm show up at Palladino's, where the farm show is now, Farm Days. And this was when the 50 series tractors were debuted. This one was the first one that was in the area. And this one is the 11th one made. The 11th 50 series. So it is 1011, and I'm pretty sure Correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm pretty sure they started at 1,000. And yeah, this has been a good tractor. We fitted ground with it when it was brand new. It did a little bit of moldboard plowing. And then it was a spreader tractor for a little whirl. And then we fed cows with it up until we got the 1200 mixers. So we've got another 4250 as well, a power shift one. And that one's, I think, 2 years newer than this one. But yeah, we had a reman engine put in this at like 20 some odd thousand hours. That engine didn't last all that long. And then P&M Diesel, they did an actual rebuild of this engine here. So let's see, I've got, I don't know why we've got exhaust leaks there, but at any rate, all it does anymore is pump manure. So, all right. Jared's going to take that up and put it on a manure pump. Let it work itself in. So we'll show you what we got going on over here. Here I thought the stud just loosened up and fell out. Well, that's not the case. It is broke off. It was just covered up with carbon. So after we got that cleaned off, we can see the broken stud is in there. So before we weld anything on that, we're going to drill it out first. We're going to do it that way first, because if I weld anything on there and can't get it out, then it's too hard to drill through the weld. So we're using the old studs to get everything all back on here because they did not send me new studs. So we're waiting on them to be delivered. They might get here before we get that stud out. But I need the old studs to hold the gaskets in place. We can get the manifold on there. And then we can get it kind of tight and then pull them studs out one at a time and swap them with the new ones. So I'm gonna try and get that drilled out, get that dug out of there, and then we can start with the reassembly process. All right, so we got that guy out of there with an easy out. We drilled it and heated it up a little bit, and it come right out. So at least we didn't have to weld anything onto it and run the risk of ruining that hole because it was countersunk just a little bit. But we have been able to get them out before that way. Usually the easy out job only works if and when you drill it first. So we'll get a short stud in there and our little manifold gasket, and then we can shove the manifold on there and start putting this thing back together. And then once the new studs get here, we'll take one out at a time and we'll put them in there. Two gears underway. Off a couple of holes. Wow. That went on by accident. I don't know how.
Right, it's got to wind up with the outside here.
Yeah, that went on by accident. Because, yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right, so we are into the following day. We've got the EGR cooler mounted. We've just got to fasten it down. We've got to put the 4 U-shaped brackets on there, hook it up in the front and the rear. But before we do that, we're going to get the studs and the manifold here on Alex's truck before we roll it out the door. I've got these on the floor. They went and picked these up here yesterday. And then what these are is just an M8 stud that goes in the center section of the exhaust manifold. Get these to sit on the tire here. So they're going to go in, thread into there like that, and they're going to hold this valve on there. So we'll take out the cap screws that I've got on there, and then they went ahead and put some new batteries in this as well. So we got 4 brand new batteries. Got these from Tracy Road Equipment. They're $105 a piece. So we got a pretty good deal on them. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna blow some fluid film in over the top of them batteries just to kind of seal up all the connections so that they don't end up all green and corroded and everything else. And then we'll get some fluid film on the spots where the step goes down, and then that latch for the step is a little sticky as well. So we'll go ahead and pull these cap screws out. Now the reason why we need to pull these cap screws out is because this is going to, from all the heating and the cooling, it's going to seize these studs in there. And then what is going to happen if we have to replace this valve, we're going to break these bolts, and then we're not going to be able to get these bolts out of this manifold, and that's going to screw it up. If we put these studs in there, the nut is more apt to come off of the stud out here, because the heat, it won't get as hot out on this end here. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and then we got to grease up the fifth wheel, and we'll get this rolled out the door. Alright, so we've got those studs in place. We threw a little bit of fluid film on everything. Alex is going to go ahead and fire it up here. And she is ready to go. This will turn over a lot faster than it did in the last video. Still must have a little air in the fuel system, but that'll get worked out now. So we'll kick her out the door. Pull 14 in now. That needs a water pump. So we'll go ahead and run up above and give Alex a hand hooking on to her trailer. It's warming up here a little bit. It's about 12 degrees out. It's a little crispy, but the wind ain't blowing, so it's just a nice calm day out there. Tim ended up unhooking the Peterbilt. He's got that hooked on to the red Diller. He's gonna run that one. We don't have, well, actually I do have a lift axle wire in this Freightliner, but Alex likes running the aluminum trailer. Whip around and hook down to that. Bang, bang. All right, we'll get this landing gear picked up, get her lines hooked up, and get her on her way. We've got to get the door closed up in the back and all that stuff. What do you want to do? Crank the landing gear or hook your lines up? All right. Okay, so we'll have to take a peek at that a little later on. Once she's hauled a couple of loads. Got some heat in here. Just gonna haul out of this front pit. Tim has already left. He took Nate with him, and Sarge is hauling as well. Bang. We might be able to get these hay heads put away as well today. We've got the last few pieces that we needed for the chopper. They've came in. What we need to do now is get this frickin' payloader back together. See, the roads are nice and dry. So we'll get this loader back together, and then we'll get on with the rest of our day here. All right, so we've got this all wrapped up. We're gonna go ahead and start this unit up. Let it run for a moment. Make sure we don't have any exhaust leaks or coolant leaks or what have you. Now, we had a lot of weight stuff on the engine. That was from a previous problem that we had this fall. That has since been fixed, but we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. Make sure. What it was is diesel exhaust fluid that was dripping and coming off of that unit there up on top, that little cooker thing. And it was just kind of coming down on the engine. So we'll get it started, and hopefully we can wrap this job up. What do you think, Jay? Can we finally get this out of the shop?
I was just going to ask you, you get it all good now?
All good now. So, that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you at the next one.